Hello everyone, my name is KJ and today's video is my non-spoiler review for the new Marvel presentation, The Punisher, One Last Kill non-spoiler review. So, if you have not seen this and you see it trending, or if you're planning to go see the new Spider-Man Brand New Day movie, which comes out next month, let me be the one to convince you to check out this because Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, will be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And maybe you definitely want to check this out before you go see that movie. So you get to know what this character is about and where this character's mindset is at before you go see Spider-Man Brand New Day. And again, this is my non-spoiler review, so I'm not gonna review about the main plot or talk about the things that has happened within this movie, but I am going to review in a way to check it out, and I'm going to talk about the things I did like about it, and of course the things I didn't like about it. So before I start, could you guys do one thing for me, guys? Could you hit the like button, aka the thumbs up button? That would help my YouTube channel out, and I truly appreciate that, guys. So without further ado, it's time for me to lock in and give you guys the non-spoiler review for Marvel's presentation, The Punisher: One Last Kill. So let's go. Marvel's Punisher: One Last Kill is a special presentation, is an action-packed film that is probably one of Marvel's most bloodiest and violent movies in the MCU. Like, this to me, as far as that is the bloodiness and the violence, is more violent than Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, it definitely tops it off. Not saying this is a better movie than Deadpool and Wolverine, but this, as far as the what you see in this, is pretty brutal. What Frank Castle does in this film, and this show also shows us what goes on in the mind of Frank Castle. And this also shows us that he's still struggling with his past and how he's dealing with grief. And this special presentation is showing us like what he was doing during season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. And obviously this takes place after Daredevil Born Again season 1, and this also takes place before the movie Spider-Man Brand New Day, which comes out in theaters next month. So after season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, and this also, but while you're watching this, just think this takes place at the same time as Daredevil Born Again season 2, and then again, this takes place before Spider-Man Brand New Day. So that's what they're trying to place it at, and this is how the director and Kevin Feige has explained it through Media Scrum and the red carpet special and all that. So that's where this takes place, if you're wondering, in the timeline of the MCU. Now, which we'll start with the things I did not like about this film. Now, as I said, the director of this film and Kevin Feige himself have went out publicly and explained where this fits in the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if they never told you that and you're just watching this, it's not very clear as visually if you're watching this where it takes place, because where Punisher left off in season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, his attitude is a lot different versus his attitude in this film, I should say. And obviously, the one thing they did do right with this is show us what he's been up to and what's going to happen before the new movie Spider-Man Brand New Day is released in theaters this year. So they did that part right. But obviously, this it's a fake town in New York called Little Sicily, which is kind of like a parody to I would imagine a Little Italy that's in New York City. That's what I'm imagining that's a parody of. So it's not real, but it's very small and it's a very in pocket place in New York. But that's the only thing I did not like about that is it just wasn't very clear because again, I just know that, you know, a lot of people I know don't, check in what the director says or watch the media scrum, and it may not show up on their social media if they're just doom scrolling or whatever. So I just didn't imagine that if somebody didn't know that the director of this film and like Kevin Feige were doing interviews on media scrums or on television, they wouldn't know that where this takes place in the MCU. They would be a little bit confused. But that's the only thing I did not like about it. Now I know a lot of people have complained about certain scenes where the CGI or the VFX effect weren't really good, but I didn't notice those things. Now I went back and rewatched it and found what everybody was talking about, and it's just Frank Castle falling um, off the roof off of a building. Now, to me, like the only reason why I knew that is because somebody and so many people on the internet pointed it out. But honestly, it's not something you would just notice on the first time watching this. So don't let that scare you or make you not want to watch that. Like the the production to this is really good, high, top quality, I would say. And to me, it's not really that much something too noticeable of that. So I wouldn't dwell on that. But again, that's my only thing is just was not clear about it just wasn't very clear where it's placed in the timeline. Now, let me talk about the things I did like about this film. Only and I got the three things. Number one, they showed another side of Frank Castle in a way where it's so the Punisher and it feels like it just came from the comic books, which I love that. I love when it feels like a comic book, personality. I like how, it reminded me of like three different Punisher comic books that I've read in my life. And it shows another side of like when he's not around the other Marvel characters, this is him alone. And this is the stuff and thoughts that he's deals with. And the way he handles it, I mean, there was times where it was a tearjerker for sure, you know, because this is a side he doesn't show like Daredevil or he's not going to show this side of Spider-Man or anybody else. This is just a side that when he's alone by himself, you see this side of him. And I really like that because that's character growth and that shows another layer and I think most people would appreciate who Frank Castle is as a Marvel character. So I definitely like that. The second thing I liked is the concept of the main plot of this film is so awesome. It is very it just feels like a Marvel comic book story of the Punisher. If I was reading a comic book, this is the type of story I would read in a comic book about the Punisher. And it was told so well and it felt like a John Wick at times, which is fine with me. The Punisher should be the John Wick of the MCU at this point. And again, the action to it was insane and it shows like how he views life, New York, the world in general. I mean, really good concept. I mean, it was told so well and The third thing that I liked about this was the ending to this. And I think that was the most important thing, the way this film ending was so awesome, you know. And this, to me, this is one of Marvel's best projects of this year so far. Like, this is their best one right here. And it's just a one shot special. Like, imagine if it was a longer, like a full length film. Like this, it would have been, oh man, it would have been a movie of the year. But like this, to me, again, this is the top 5 for this year for sure. But if I had to give this Marvel special presentation, this a 1 out of 10. This is definitely a 10 out of 10. It had action, it had drama, it had sadness. You seen a softer side of him, but you also seen a guy who can just go in and lay the smack down on some bunch of jabronis. Like, you know, Frank Castle did his thing in this, and everybody in the cast in this film did an amazing job, and it's definitely worth checking out. Because me watching this now and now going into watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm definitely going to understand what the Punisher, aka Frank Castle, is doing in this film. And you know what? The with season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, I said in an older video for my non-spoiler review for season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, the problem with that my only complaint about that is, well, one of the complaints I should say, is in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, they kind of spoiled a little bit of Spider-Man Brand New Day. This didn't really honestly spoil nothing about Spider-Man Brand New Day. It just kind of educated me about who is Frank Castle as a person and what's his MMO is about and his viewpoint of life. And he's definitely this is a definitely like a anti-hero story. So nothing it this to me did better of giving us just a little bit, but not enough where it's gonna spoil Spider-Man Brand New Day when you'll go see Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, in that movie. So they did really well on that. So that's a 10 out of 10 for sure. But let me know what you guys think about the Punisher One Last Kill in the comments below. And if you have seen this, check out my spoiler review where I go in deeper, in depth about scene by scene what goes on and hear my Marvel theory about what I think could be happen in the future of the MCU. So thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you guys be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.